Good morning. Have I had a great journey this morning and this week? It's been really fascinating. And I was asked to wear this peace sign this morning. This was my dad's, and that he wore for the 60s and 70s dance that we had at his nursing home. And it's very colorful. So I was asked to wear it today. And you'll know why in a little bit. I want to first of all welcome all of you. Thank you for being here this morning. And Ferris is here. Say
Good
hi,
morning.
Ferris. And Andrew is here. He's going to be managing chat.
I'm just staying on audio because my connection can be unstable. So you just hear the voice of Andrew for this morning.
Okay. All right. And if for some reason you can't, then Ferris, can you read the questions?
Sure.
Okay. And any questions that you have for Kenner, because I am going to be channeling him. I've been channeling him all morning and he's right here. He's just right here. So he wants to come through. He wants to talk to everybody, and keep your questions general and about the world. I just got out of the shower a little bit ago, everybody, and I have been enjoying this journey. And it has lasted, I think it started 3 days ago on Friday. It started Friday morning. I was out running and I started hearing a rap song. And I don't rap, I don't listen to rap, I don't know anything about rap, but I kept hearing the words, they're crying, they're sighing, because they're always dividing. And I started writing down these words, and there's a whole rap song, which I don't understand how it all works. But this is what I heard. What was interesting is the voice that I heard it from, I actually heard that evening. Because after our call, as we told everybody, we were going to watch Hamilton. And we watched the movie Hamilton, and the whole thing is pretty much rapping, which I didn't know. I had no idea that it did that. And there's actually words in that movie that were like what I was getting in the rapping. And I just thought that was really fascinating. So both Ferris and Gary can confirm that I was getting this rapping before I ever saw that movie. And Kenner was coming through to me long before I ever saw the movie. But there is a character in that. And Gary, come here, because I was like confirmation. So Ferris can say that, but Gary, he will tell you. I just want you to tell everybody real quick that I started telling you about the rap song.
Yeah, it was probably 2 or 3 days ago that she was telling me about her next download, and it was in a rap song. I thought, rap song? Of all things, rap. Neither one of us really care for rap. And then the night before last, we watched the Alexander Hamilton show streamed it off Disney, and it begins with them doing rap. And neither one of us had any idea the Alexander Hamilton show was in rap at the beginning.
Yeah, and mostly through it, there was
it was
yeah.
better to understand in the later part of the show than it was at the beginning part. I didn't quite understand the wording and how they did it in rap at the beginning, but after intermission, it got much better.
And now I know why I was supposed to watch the movie. I really understand it now, as Kenner has been coming through. So thank you, my love. He still got his Band-Aid where he had his little.
About to come off. It's healed much better.
Great.
Put the makeup on it and it'll
look beautiful.
New, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, my love.
Okay.
So I just wanted everybody to hear that from Gary and from Ferris, because again, I am not a rapper. I don't know anything about it. And yet all these lyrics started coming through, and there in Hamilton, there was very similar words that they were singing to what I was hearing. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is the wildest thing. And then I didn't get any more download until it started this morning. I actually had to realign my energy. And so I woke up very, very early and I started doing tapping and realigned my chakras. And once I did, this energy was in this voice just flowed through beautifully. And so I look forward to you meeting Kenner today. So let's go ahead and go into the world viewing room. And if you all just close your eyes and take a beautiful deep breath. And just release, and another nice deep breath. And let's just relax our shoulders, roll them up towards the ears and back down your back. And again, up towards your ears and back down into position. And then one last time, up and back and relax. We want to be fully relaxed. We want to be fully aligned so that we can channel information. Know that it is hard to be a clear channel when you are out of alignment, when your chakras are out of alignment, when your chakras are out of alignment, when your energies out of alignment, when your thoughts are negative. It is very hard to channel information, if not impossible. So just clear your mind. Take another nice deep breath. And we are now in the World Viewing Center. The World Viewing Room becomes a center when two or more are gathered. And we are here, and let's hold hands as we look around and we see the Light Brigade. We see the archangels flying just above the Light Brigade. And above them, we see all kinds of angels. They are also part of the Light Brigade. In front of us, there is a cylinder. And the cylinder today looks a little mucky. So we're going to focus on that cylinder. And we're going to just clear and calm the water. We cannot see the world through mucky water. It only reflects back to us what we want to see. But in order to truly see through God's eyes, we must clear and calm that water. Focus on each particle as it floats to the bottom. It just settles there, little by little, and the water becomes clear. Just focus on those particles, on that density, and allow it to settle to the bottom. Now we can see the world clearly. Now we can be clear channels. And I would like to invite in Kenner. And you can just relax and sit or stand, whatever is comfortable for you. Hi there, I'm Kenner. I'm Kenner. Kenner, yeah, Kenner. Kenner means concierge. I'm the concierge of these bridges. Because you see, the fourth storm is division. And there has been division ever since man started. And I've been building them bridges. I've been building them bridges for years. We got little bridges and big bridges, and sometimes I don't even get them built before they start tearing them down. They're burning them down, they're blowing them up, they're destroying them however they can. They try and dismantle them. Just as I put a piece of wood down, they start taking it up. Sometimes they block the bridge because they just don't want people to be together. They don't want people to be together. There is no unity as long as we cannot build these bridges. So I want to answer your questions. What questions do you have for me?
Kenner, can you describe how you go about building bridges?
Oh, the bridges. Depends on the kind of bridge. It depends on the kind of bridge. I use all kinds of materials. My favorite is the light. I like to use the light, like the Rainbow Bridge, when people go and see God, when they go to the other side. That's my favorite bridge, and that's pure light. But sometimes we have to build it out of stone. They don't stay. They don't stay long because people just blow it up. We have built these bridges from every kind of wood, every kind of wood. And they're beautiful too. Notice my wings. My wings change color depending on the bridge. Sometimes they're all kinds of color. And other times, they're just gray. They're just gray because I know I'm not going to get this bridge finished. And we have all kinds of people here helping with them bridges. We have the Light Brigade. They've been helping me for eons. They are here to build these bridges, even though they keep getting torn down. Oh, and there's another person here you might know. His name's Jesus. He's a builder. He's always here. And you might ask me why he's wearing shorts. Well, you can't build no bridge with a robe on. So you get to see Jesus' legs. Yep, he's here helping. Everybody's helping. But we can never seem to get these bridges built. At least not for very long. I know you got questions. What questions you have?
Mary Ann is asking, are these bridges within our families, cities, states, countries?
All the above. All the above. There are bridges everywhere. There are bridges in your kitchen. Some people like black coffee, some want cream. That causes a divide. Some people want chocolate ice cream, other people want vanilla. That causes a divide. There is division everywhere you look. It's understanding division. That's tricky.
Tawny asked, what can we do to help build the bridges?
Oh, the bridges. The bridges can be built by just changing inside, changing the divide. You see, division puts people on one side of the chasm and other people on the other side of the chasm. And here's the problem. When the bridges are torn down, when people were walking across, trying to do their thing, trying to clear their energy, trying to understand mankind, sometimes the bridge is destroyed and they fall in that chasm. But here's what's cool. All they have to do is join hands. As soon as they join hands, they float right up. And they can float above that chasm. So there really ain't no need for that bridge, now is there? But very few people find that out. So we'll keep building the bridges. They'll keep tearing them down.
Camille asked, why are the bridges being destroyed?
Because nobody can agree on anything. Everybody has to argue their way's right, this way's right. Everybody's arguing. Everybody thinks their way's right. The most destructive of all the bridges come from the following storms. See, of the 7 storms, I'm in the middle. I'm at the heart. And if somebody has a dark heart, you can't unite the two sides. You just can't. It's not going to happen. Because they think their way's right. The lower storms, they're behaviors. They're things that happen because people just think that whatever they learned growing up, that's the way it is. The upper storms, they destroy the bridges. They're the most deadly. And we'll be talking about them in weeks to come. What questions you have?
Linda is asking, what is the longest existing bridge that you have ever built? And how long did it last? And what was it for?
The Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge is beautiful. Oh, you should see my wings when I'm repairing the Rainbow Bridge. It doesn't really need repairing. I just like to cross back and forth because I can. It's really pretty. And my wings just change all kinds of color. I'm just going back and forth. It's still there. It's still there. You can't destroy it because that's the bridge from earth to heaven, heaven to earth. Okay, what question do you have?
Is there, Kenner, is there a difference between simple disagreement and division? Are they always the same?
In simple disagreement, you can decide just to disagree. It's not hot. It's not that emotional. And you can walk away hand in hand, still be friends. But division is when one person plants a foot and they will not pick up that foot and see the other side. They are not going to cross that bridge. They won't even meet them halfway. That's self-righteousness. That is self-righteousness. Everybody's got a reason for believing like they are. Is there right and wrong? Sure there is. But we've got to bridge that gap by helping people understand what is right. And what is right is coming from the heart. It's coming from a place of love. Love. Love is the only thing that can keep that bridge built. That's the only thing. What other questions you have for me?
Christine has a question. How can we check for our own close mindfulness or obstacles we ourselves have created so as to better be able to bridge with others or different views?
You got to sit down and have a conversation. You got to sit down and talk to each other and get to understand each other. Why do you do the things you do? How come you think like this? What led you to that? You got to understand each other. But nobody takes the time. I can't believe when I'm looking down at mankind, I cannot believe what people are believing. See, there I go dividing. Even I do it. We all do it. Because sometimes there's just belief. We just believe something should be some way. Because that's the way we learned. But we got to ask questions. We got to understand. We got to do our research. You know why Cindy knew me so well? Why she was able to see my face? She's not been able to see the other angels as clearly. It's because she's always known me. You've all always known me. Because we all divide. Anytime we don't understand others, we create division. Now you add in all these other emotions, hate and distrust and judgment and prejudice and rebellion. That's the fastest way to burn down those bridges. See that? Another one just went out in smoke. I just finished that yesterday. And I'll keep on building those bridges. Because that's who I am. I am the builder of bridges. And I am good. That's not bragging. That's just the truth. What questions you got?
Tawny's asking, what gives you hope since we keep burning them down?
Understanding that chasm is never going to close. It's just not. It's man's way. Look at religion. Religion was created to divide people. To divide people. That's why it was created. One person believes this way and another person believes that way. Politicians, they're notorious for dividing people. One's got to be red, one's got to be blue, and the king's got to be purple. Come on. Everybody's dividing. The men over here, the women over there, the children over there, we're always dividing. But if we hold hands in love, even with our differences, we might be able to keep a bridge up, at least for a little while. Now, I don't know time, because there is no time here. But I've seen those bridges up, a few, for a little while. But it wasn't long. Because people just naturally divide. What other questions do you have?
This
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
It's with our media breaking down bridges faster than individuals can build them. How can we reverse the trend, or what can help to reverse it?
The media is only a reflection of what people want. That's all it is. They're just reporting what people want to hear. It what gets them to tune in. It's what sells books. It's only a reflection. So everybody's blaming in the media. It's just their job. It's just their job. And they're reflecting what's in your heart. We got to change from the inside. We got to change the message that's coming in from our own radio station, from our own television station. And when you tune into something different, you're going to flip on your TV and you're going to see something different. That's how you change it. Okay, got some more questions for me? I like
Yes.
talking to you.
I like talking to you too. Why? Hold on. It just went the, okay. How are masks dividing us, and how can we bridge over them?
Masks are not dividing anybody. It's who's talking about the masks that are dividing people. You see, there's a big misunderstanding coming out right now. Everybody thinks they should pray for this virus to go away. You're praying for the wrong thing. You should be praying for people to learn to respect each other. Because that's what this is all about. And this virus will not go away until people learn to respect. And that mask is a symbol of respect. And by not wearing it, or by wearing it, shows respect. That's a big bridge. A little tiny mask became a big bridge that I'm trying to build. And I cannot get to the third plank. I cannot build that bridge.
Linda is asking, would you say there is more good in the world or more bad?
Well, that's a Difficult question to answer. Kind of. It depends on what you're in your heart. If you're filled with love, you're going to see more good. If you have fear in your heart, you're going to see more fear. Because that fear becomes a hammer and everything's nailed. What questions you got for me?
Suzanne is asking, if people dream of a bridge but don't see the possibility yet, what do you recommend?
Oh, bridges show up in dreams all the time. How many of you have ever crossed that bridge? Probably was unfinished. You saw the beginnings of the bridge. You saw one of my works of art. But mankind won't let us finish. Human nature won't let us finish. Maybe you could help build that bridge in your dream. When you can't get to the other side, stop and breathe and meditate. Look in your heart. Open your hands, and the materials you need will appear. And you put them down. You put down those planks. You put down the stone. You put down the light. And see if you can't get across.
So Alice is asking, Kenner, will you talk about having diversity without division?
That's not going to happen. Because people like people that are like themselves. That's an automatic division. But understanding can bridge that gap. Acceptance can bridge that gap. Love can bridge that gap. But there's still going to be a divide. There ain't no way to get around it. There's still going to be the divide. All we can do is bridge the gap. But you can't close up the gap, not completely. The only way that happens is, well, to cross that rainbow bridge. I don't think everybody wants to do that right now.
Christine is asking, why do we want to hear negative from our media about each other?
Because people like people that are like themselves. When they hear the negative, it confirms something inside. It confirms our own beliefs. People are saying, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That mask is just dividing us. Well, then God is dividing us. Because God's a mask. He protects us. So when we hear negative, it's because it's what we want to hear. It's confirming something inside. It's confirming something. What is it? The question should be, I'm hearing this negative stuff. How is it serving me? What is it making right inside me? Because that's what I've got to work on. That's what I got to change. They're just doing their job. And they got to do that job 24/7 because people want to hear it. If they didn't want to hear it, it wouldn't be on. As long as there's an audience, they're going to keep on going. What other questions you got?
Karen is asking, Kenner, do you help people with dark hearts, or is it our responsibility as humans to try to help people with dark hearts see the light? Or can you or do you help the dark hearts see the light to shift?
My job is to build bridges. It's your job to cross it.
Christine sort of follows up with Karen's question. With when we increase our love, does that help eliminate the darkness in others directly?
We can't eliminate anybody's darkness. All we can do is shine the light. And when there's love in your heart, you're shining the light. And for many, that light is a moth to flame. And they're going to be attracted to you, and they're going to want to know more about the light. And you have an opportunity to share. Not to preach, but to share. Share what you know. Share what you believe. Share the love. Share about your angels and your guides and your knowing. Share about your dreams and your aspirations. And ask them about theirs and what brought them to this place. This place and time. That's the key. You see, that's the key to opening that heart. I can't do that. I can only build the bridge. You got to want to cross it. What you got for me?
Linda is asking, would you say our next president that is elected will be really good at building bridges?
Of what country?
The United States of America, I'm assuming.
I can't predict the future for you because people are full of choices. And sometimes they change those choices depending on the way the wind blows. You've got to look in the heart of that person and decide if they're good or good enough. Their heart will show. Their heart shows through their deeds. Now, don't be looking for perfection. It does not exist on this side. It doesn't exist. Nobody's perfect. Quit looking for their flaws. Look for their light. And that's how you know what kind of leader they're going to be. Look for their light. Have they done more good than harm? Have they shown more love than hate? Look for that light. And that holds your answer.
Anne is asking, if ready to cross Rainbow Bridge, what can we do to implement that in the now?
Do you hear God calling? Because God will call you home. See, there's something to be learned in the waiting. If you're not ready to go home, if he is not calling you home, then there is learning in the waiting. What are you supposed to learn before he calls you home? Sometimes what you got to learn is patience. So just ask God, what do I still need to learn? And if he doesn't have the answer for you, or if you can't hear him, go a little deeper. Because the answer's there. It's always there. And sometimes it's going to be a guide. Sometimes it's going to be someone like me, someone on the street. Even a little kid can answer that question for you. Just keep your ears open. Dig a little deeper. But you can't cross the bridge till you get called.
Suzanne is asking, is there anything we can do to restore our broken bridge? And if so, what would it be?
Again, it's love. Love is the only thing. Love. In love, there is understanding. In love, there is acceptance. In love, there is joy. In love, there is light. That's the only thing. That's the real material of these bridges. But until we stop having differences that divide, that bridge ain't never going to stay built. What other questions you got for me?
Christine is asking, as Anne says, how can we help? What are the planks in the bridge? You said respect is the one you aim to build now. How can we help with that? And what is the next plank after?
After
Easy.
respect.
Tell me that again.
What is the next plank after respect? Andrew dropped out.
Respect, understanding, acceptance, not tolerance. Tolerance burns a bridge, or it puts dividers on the bridge. You stay on your side of the bridge, I'll stay on mine. No, it's acceptance. Accept one another. Learn about one another. It's wisdom. Now, it might be something different for you than it is for someone else. What you need to learn. Sometimes that next part of the bridge is a breath. Because people just talk before they stop and breathe. They're just spouting off and they don't even take a breath. And then their ego gets in the way and they won't backtrack. They'll do everything they can to defend what they just said, even if they don't believe it. So I'd say that next rung can be a breath. But most people today, they can't breathe. What other questions you got for me?
Kenner, I think that does it for us for now. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Cindy, you want to come on back?
First, I want to say something. I know every one of you. I have seen every one of you. You know me. You see me all the time. You see me in your dreams. Now I want you to get to know yourself as well as you know me. Go inside. Go inside. Learn to love yourself. Every part, even the dark parts. And then you can look out into the world and you get to know everybody else. And let your light shine.
Thank you.
I feel like I was just on a marathon.
You were running back and forth on bridges.
Wow.
Not your spiritual workout, Cindy.
I can say this, I can't wait to go back and listen. I'm still hearing that rap song in my head.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, and I'm pleased to tell you that you didn't rap.
I didn't?
No.
Oh, darn. I was really hoping, everybody, that I could guess the rest of the song because it kept playing in my head over and over again. In fact, I've got a whole bunch of recordings of what I kept getting, and I've been jotting down a whole bunch of notes here, thinking maybe I'm going to get a rap song out of this. So if Kenner has a song, and I have a feeling that when he's building these bridges, that he sings.
You're supposed to whistle while you work.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong, that's the wrong builders. Yes.
And I want to tell everybody that what Kenner told me is that he is a Black man, and he's always been a Black man since the beginning of time, that he lived for a very short while and then decided he didn't want to be here, and he just has been building these bridges ever since. And he said he likes to be a Black man because he likes his color. He doesn't have to worry about getting a tan, and he does not have to worry about what to do with his hair, because it's always the same. It doesn't grow. It's always short, and he likes it that way because it's cool. And he said that he is always in joy. He is 100% in joy in who he is. Always. And when I met him, that's all I felt was joy. I can't explain it any other way. Just, he's got a bounce in his step, and he's got energy. He's got all this energy. It's cool.
You don't have to explain it. It was in his voice.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was so cool.
Well, Christine's got her hand up.
Okay,
Christine,
Christine.
can you unmute yourself? What you got?
Hi there. Sorry, my camera's broken on my phone. Here, Kitty will be upside down and do substitute because I can't reverse it.
Hi, Kitty.
I just actually tried to erase my hand being up, but I guess I wanted to thank you so much. And I've just had like 3 revelations since the end of it. And I'm thinking, what is it I do why do I get so fascinated? As an activist trying to, quote, fix things, maybe I'm creating as many problems as I'm trying to fix because, maybe part of me needs to put a problem out there in the world so that I don't have to look at my own scary problems and I can externalize things a bit. And maybe I want to be, smarter than those people or better than those people, wherever they are. I do a lot of, so it's not really a question. I guess it's just a lot of comments, and I'm hoping maybe it'll help other people. So I wrote down the question for myself to think about, why do I need the division?
And, I'm also an activist, and I will remain being an activist. Because we understand something doesn't mean that we shouldn't stand up for injustices. At least that's, Cindy, the earth being, that's the way that I feel, is that it is okay to go out there and fight for what's right, to stand up for what's right. Somebody's got to be an advocate for people. And an advocate is, I don't know how to word this exactly, but an advocate is just speaking up for people without a voice. And that's okay if we come from a place of love. It's when, as God has told me, and I'm guilty of this, I have the anger head a lot. Cindy gets the anger head. And when I just realized I'm shaky. That must have been quite a journey. I'm a bit shaky now. When I get the anger head and start judging instead of focusing on the change I want to create, then that division becomes bigger instead of bridging that gap. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. That makes sense. And I agree completely. I think I do plan to continue helping and trying to bring that love into my work that way. And I have a bit of I think I have an internet addiction a little bit that I have to wrestle with. And I think when I'm fall out into my anger head and I want to, you know, I'm doing less acting and more getting more information that I already know enough to act. I don't need to be collecting more bad news all the time. I mean, yes, I need to stay somewhat informed, but I go to excess on that. And I'm not acting as much as I'm reading and getting twisted up sometimes. So my spiritual practice is really needing to be emphasized more so. Because if I get too mired in the muck, I have a hard time acting. I get more paralyzed.
And that's what's happening to most people. That's why I think that a lot of bridges are just halfway built, because, you know, we get drawn in. I keep going back to that book, Fahrenheit 451. And, you know, where they keep people looking at the movie screens all the time. And I don't know if anybody's ever read that. If not, I really invite people to go and read that, because it really describes what all of us are going through right now. They're keeping our minds so busy with all this stuff all the time that we don't have time to look inside of ourselves. And I am guilty just like everybody else. And the other day I got on and I got very angry when I saw somebody promoting, you know, that the coronavirus is just the flu. You know, it's just another kind of flu. It doesn't matter if it is or not. It's killing a lot of people. And promoting that, to me, it really brought up the anger head, and I reacted to that. And what did I do? I unsubscribed to that person. I created a divide.
Right.
You know, and that's what we do. And the thing is, and it's okay to do that, but know the reason. And the reason is because the real reason I wanted to unsubscribe that person or unfriend that person is because I don't want to pass that misinformation on. And if I would have come from that place instead of anger head when I did it, then I would have been showing the light. And so I had to do a lot of work on that. I got in a lot of trouble and couldn't clearly see anybody and couldn't channel any information because I did it from the wrong place. Am I being clear?
Absolutely. Very clear. I have that same issue. I tend to be able to be pretty good when I'm in conversations one-on-one. I engage with people with contrary views, and I can be a little feisty, and they dish it out. I always try to be, I'm always polite and I never swear or anything like that. And over time though, people I've noticed do respect me, even though they want to clobber me. They kind of like that I'm out there questioning them over several years now, some of these people. And I think that's the bridge we're talking about. And I think we're all getting exhausted. Like at first it was a bit of a novelty, all of this. And now we're just exhausted. And I'm hoping that will lead us to this respect plank that Keen was talking about. Because we now want a solution, at least some of us. Maybe some people are newly engaged in the hate and they love it and they're rolling in it. But those of us who are moving along from it can be the first initiators of this. Okay, enough already of this nonsense. What's the next phase? We got to communicate. We got to understand each other. We got to accept each other, not just tolerate. And that's a beautiful, helpful message.
You know, Christine, you just reminded me of some of those fights I had in the schoolyard, where for probably no good, well, definitely for no good reason at all, we would just fight until we were exhausted. And then once we realized we were both exhausted, we could become friends again.
Maybe you could even laugh about it. I mean, you can envision brothers and
maybe this can lead to that.
That's a beautiful, beautiful picture to have as a way to keep going. Thank you so much for saying that, Ferris. That's the first in a long time of a humor. I mean, humor is so helpful. And I have not been able to find the humor, but that gives it to me, that picture. Fantastic.
Beautiful. One
And
of
I
the
like your
things,
black lampshade.
yeah, that's showing
like,
up there.
I don't know, am I upside down? There I am.
There you are. Hi. It's good to see your face. Yeah,
Enough of that.
and you know, I'm learning. I really want to say I'm learning with everybody else. I am not perfect, and I do these things too, and I am being taught. And whenever I stop being able to channel information, I am told it's time to go inside. And look at it from a different perspective, look at it from a new way. So what did
Yeah, I
you?
have a new way. These are my little Buddhas over here. I don't know if you can see those guys.
Oh, look at that. Cool.
That's Buddha Maitreya. So I have that different view to bring, even if it's upside down.
One of the
Oh.
things that I Ileana has been showing me in the last storm. And the last storm, for those of you, in case you missed that storm, the last storm, what was the last storm? Oh, deceit. Deceit was the last storm. And we deceive ourselves whenever we are, and Christine, can you go ahead and mute yourself? Okay, whenever, you know, the angels, in case anyone missed it, whenever the angels were, or the circle that was created from the 3 Johns, which were really one person, and they faced outward like this, linking their arms because they're all aspects of one person. And we were shown one person. And we each have those aspects. And if we face outward, we're looking out into the world for our answers. And we have to turn around and look inward. And that's what I was shown. We all have to look inward and look at all the aspects of ourselves that are in that circle. And Theo calls them orphans. In my channeling, they're called aspects. They're aspects that have not been fully integrated, that are in ourselves. But if our circle is facing outward, not only can we not see those other aspects that are us, those things about ourselves, but we're looking to the world for answers and not looking in. So each one of us have to look inward. So Andrew?
It just passed 11:10 your time.
Yes.
So
And
I'm wondering if you got any further information on that, please.
okay, it's funny because I just looked up and saw 11:10 and I haven't yet. And I wonder if we're going to see something. By the way, I channeled it very clearly said July 12th, and I kept seeing 11:10. And I don't know if that's a timestamp or if that's a date. That's still not clear to me. And sometimes we don't know until later what that means. Sometimes it's, you know, in the news right away. And sometimes, and by the way, it's okay to look at the news. Just don't drown in it. You know, just short headlines is good. If you drown yourself in it, then you're not going to see the light. You won't be able to breathe. If you find that you cannot breathe, then get away from the news. Go for a walk, get away from it and start breathing. You know, center yourself again so that you can breathe. And anyways, so Andrew, to answer that question, I don't know. I haven't looked at the news, and it may be a while before we know. And for those of you, by the way, who don't want to see the dark in some of these things, there is darkness in the world. And that darkness is, you know, the divide. So it's there. And for us to only want to see the light, then we're not going to get our answers, because the wisdom, as we've been told again and again, comes from the shadows. Just don't move in and set up camp in the shadows. So anything else? We'll talk more about this on Tuesday. So everybody, I just want to say, please join us on Tuesday, and hopefully we'll have some answers. And by then, about why this day was significant. I have no idea, but this, it still feels very significant this day. And I don't know why, and maybe we'll know by Tuesday. So come join the conversation. We'll have more. And let's just go ahead, everybody, and let's take a nice deep breath as we leave the World Viewing Center. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, just feel yourself floating all the way down back into this three-dimensional world, which is where we live. And remind yourself to stay grounded today, stay grounded in your breath, and always look inward. And when you look inward and you're strong in who you are, and you're strong in your love and your joy and your happiness, when you're grounded in that, then you can look at the facts that are going out in the world, all the details that are going on around the world, and you can stay grounded in who you are. So let's take another deep breath and just open your eyes. And everybody, I love you. Let's go ahead and open up the line. And
everybody just unmute themselves.
And say bye for now, and I'll see you on Tuesday. I love you, everybody.
Thank
I
you,
love you.
Candace.
Thank you so much.
Have a good Sunday, everyone.
Blessings to everybody.
I love you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hey, everybody.
Have an awesome day.
Love you.
Bye-bye.